Hello everyone, welcome to my Euro 2024 preview for Spain. Today we're going to be taking a look at how they could set up going into the tournament, a strength, a weakness, and of course a player to watch. Make sure you're sitting comfortably, you got a drink, you got a snack, and let's dive right in. This is how I could see Spain setting up for Euro 2024. Utilising the 4-3-3, I think that you're going to see a lot of similarities with the way that they've played previously, still highlighting possession as one of the main attributes that they have to go forwards. However, under De La Fuente's tenure, I can see something of a bit more flexibility about this Spain side. Utilising a two-man midfield with a central attacking midfielder gives them a little bit more defensive stability when they are out of possession, utilising their defensive shape in a different manner to give them a better backboard to then utilise with their possession to go forwards. Of course, this could revert back and still utilise their three-man midfield in a 4-3-3 system, highlighting Rodri's passing ability. From the back though, let's talk about Unai Simon, who I think is still going to retain his position even though David Raya has had a fantastic campaign. A centre-back partnership of Aymeric Laporte and Lenormand is going to allow them to be a little bit more physically dominant, especially in the air. Lenormand is actually extremely good at holding those aerial duels, 3.76 per 90, putting him in the 96th percentile in Europe's top 5 leagues. Partnering with a good passer in the ball in Laporte, and all of a sudden you've got a good flexibility and a good mismatch of both passing ability and physical prowess. Utilising Carvajal out on this right hand side, who was going to be wanting to get forwards at the same time as allowing those attacks down the right hand side. Grimaldo is going to do exactly the same, and I've been so impressed with him this season. He's had a great campaign with Bayer Leverkusen and he has just been sensational from an attacking perspective. I mean, take a look at some of these statistics. 4.28 shot creating actions per 90. We need to remember that he is actually a left back or a left wing back, depending on how you want to look at it. 8.3 progressive passes received. This tells me that he's getting into those correct positions higher up the pitch, but really impressive areas. 2.81 progressive carries, he's able to drive with the ball, and 5.2 progressive passes, pushing that ball forwards. Possession is all well and good, and this Spain side will be fantastic in possession. But really, it's about driving forwards, making sure that they have the progression through their side, as well as maintaining and dominating the ball. Possession means nothing if you can't play it through those thirds to get to the more attacking areas of the pitch. Speaking of the more attacking areas, we know that Rodri is going to be the base pillar for this Spain attack. Of course, making sure that they are defensively solid, but really highlighting the progression through into the forward midfielders, but also the actual attackers themselves. Pedri is a star for me when it comes to going forwards and making attacks. He has been missing in this Barcelona team this year due to injury, but he's been fantastic when he's come in. 8 progressive passes per 90. That is incredibly high. Puts him in the 93rd percentile in Europe's top 5 leagues. And then when we take a look at the 4.24 shot creating actions, he's able to really be that main creator for this Spain side, taking on that mantle. And we spoke about the hybrid role that this player could have. Fabian Ruiz, I believe, could do a bit of both. I think he could be both defensively solid and at the same time join through in the attacks whenever necessary. Williams on this left hand side is going to bring a lot of dynamism, cutting inside, but also making sure that he's able to link up with his teammates in true Spanish fashion. On the other side of this Spain attack, we have Lamine Yamal, and you might think that I'm being a little bit overeager in putting him in the side, but I think he deserves his place. There is an old saying that if you're good enough, you're old enough, and I do believe in Lamine Yamal's case, this is the fact. 13.8 progressive passes received, getting himself into really good positions, but 4.4 shot creating actions shows that he's got a good head on his shoulders. 5.02 progressive carries, he's good with the ball at his feet, and at the same time you've got 3.01 successful take-ons per 90. That puts him in the 90th percentile in Europe's top 5 leagues of players in this position, and 2.27 tackles. Not only is he able to go forwards, he's also defensively solid. All of this links together with a strong physical presence of a centre forward. I don't think you're going to be seeing too much of a false nine nowadays. Morata is going to be the backboard for the Spain side to really play up to, be a bit more direct to, and then recycle back, allowing him to then get into the box. And actually we can see with Morata that he has a number of touches in the attacking penalty area, 5.64 in the attacking penalty area, as well as 0.7 non-penalty goals, still as really clinical as ever. This is the Spain side, and I believe they're going to have both a fluidity but also a more direct presence than we've seen previously. It's going to be a unique blend, and I can't wait to see it. If I was to pick a strength for this Spain side, it would be the same as it's always been, their midfield. Once again, this Spanish midfield is nothing short of brilliant, with depth in the likes of Zubimendi and Dani Olmo going forwards. I think that this Spain midfield is just fantastic. Rodri is the centre pin for this. He is brilliant at both going forwards, but also defensively he reads the game very well. He's able to play it through into the likes of Fabian Ruiz, who has done a very good job and I think is quite underrated this year. If we take a look at some of his statistics, 89.3 pass completion, which is really high, 1.1 successful take-ons, which isn't too high, but when you take a look at his 6.24 progressive passes, match that with Pedri's 8, that's nearly 14 progressive passes this season, per 90 as well. That's really, really impressive, allowing them to make those progressive passes into those striking areas, those wingers, and just really dominate and progress the ball forwards. We mentioned the more direct manner that Spain are going to be taking, and the progression of the football is going to be absolutely necessary when trying to implement that. We're talking about Pedri again, who again has missed a number of matches for Barcelona this season. Still 2.4 progressive carries, 2.14 touches in the attacking penalty area. He's fantastic, and he's the main creator for this Spain side, and I believe if they're going to be doing anything in this tournament, it will be through him from an offensive point of view. Again, Ruiz, Pedri, Zubimendi possibly coming in for Rodri, possibly partnering Rodri, Dani Olmo coming in a more central attacking midfield role. If Spain decide to play a midfield too, they have a number of different options. Perhaps not the flashy style they've had in the past, but mark my words, they still have a lot of quality, and they are going to be a danger going forwards. For all their attacking prowess in terms of midfield, one of their main weaknesses for me is actually the striker. Alvaro Morata is a very good player, and while he is able to get on the end of a number of passes and make sure that he's able to get into certain areas, he still does struggle in a number of different avenues for this Spain side. Passes attempted is pretty poor, progressive passes is nearly non-existent, and that might be down to the fact that he gets on the end of things, but he sometimes fails to bring others into play as much as I think Spain would want. He doesn't really create too many shot creating actions, and at the same time his progressive passes received are also quite low, meaning that he's mainly a box player, and that is fine, but if he sometimes doesn't actually come up with the goods, the backup options in terms of Ferran Torres, Joselu, I just don't really see the attacking intent that Spain have. Once again, I think they're struggling with the striking role, and Alvaro Morata just seems to be the best solution for a bad situation. But for Spain to really propel themselves forward and make themselves one of the main favourites of this tournament, I think they might have needed a better striker. Don't get me wrong, I still think they'll make do, I still think Morata will get a few goals, but Spain really do need to find their next level striker. If ever there was a player to watch in this Spain side, it would be Rodri for me. Just watch him even off the ball. The positions that he takes up, the movement that he makes. For example, when a player is on the ball in this area, he will move into different pockets and different scenarios, read the game in different avenues, and then be able to lay it off immediately. His passing is some of the best in the world, and his positioning is pretty fantastic. If we take a look at some of his statistics, we can see that he's just phenomenal. 112 passes attempted on average per 90, 91% pass completion, he nearly doesn't lose the football at all, 12.16 progressive passes per 90, 12. We were previously lauding Pedri and Fabian Ruiz for nearly getting 14 combined. He's got 12. He is immense. 2.82 progressive carries as well. He's able to drive forwards when he needs to. 1.28 successful take-ons. He's got everything. I mentioned it previously. He's fantastic. He can drive with the ball. He can position himself properly. And trust me, if there is any attack that Spain are going to be orchestrating, Rodri will be at the heart and the base of that attack. He is phenomenal, and if they're going to do anything in this tournament, everything will have to flow through him. So overall, Spain are a fantastic side who have a number of quality players in a number of different positions. Rodri being the highlight of this midfield three and real midfield dominance when it comes to the way that Spain play football. Fabian Ruiz, I think, is an underrated star who's going to be able to give a bit of balance to the defensive prowess of Rodri with the attacking prowess of Pedri. Pedri coming into the side is a massive relief for the Spain side, allowing them to go forwards, especially with his partner in crime Gavi not being available. Grimaldo is going to bring a fantastic natural attack to that left-hand side, but I wonder about whether Carvajal has it in him to really go for another Euros. Defensively, they have a couple of questions to ask as well. Laporte being out of Europe and playing his football elsewhere might mean that he's a little bit slow when it comes to certain situations. And of course, we've also mentioned a big problem when it comes to the striking scenario. If Morata doesn't do it, do they have the strength in depth in terms of Ferran Torres or Joselu to really bring it over the line? And that's what I'm not so sure about. For all of their ability on the ball, and I'm sure they will play some great football, their directness of play will be something that's refreshing and interesting to see. But I wonder whether they're going to lack the killer edge to bring the trophy home. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on Spain and how you think they're going to do in the Euros. I would love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure that you check out the rest of my previews and stay tuned for all of the coverage coming for Euro 2024. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.